Hey, this is week number 15 of my weight loss journey. If you are new, take a look, find the actual podcast. If you haven't actually found the podcast, Couch to Active, yet, and you're listening to this from a direct link somewhere that somebody gave you, go to any podcast player in the world, find the podcast, and there's a whole series of these weight loss episodes from week 0 all the way to week 15 so far, where I'm journaling real time, live, my weight loss journey, how it's going, why I'm doing it, and why I'm calling it a weight loss journey, even though it's way more than that. We talk about that a lot in there. Definitely worth going back and knowing the context of those. I'm going to assume, though, that this is like a Netflix series and you're on to the next episode. So don't spend too much time. Skip intro. I want to, I already know all this. Go into it. Okay, so this is week number 15 that I have been in earnest working on a weight loss, healthy weight loss, natural, no diet pills. This is not bariatrics. This is just the no diet, no keto, it's actually just living my life healthy in a way that gets me to also see changes in my body that I want to see for the purpose of me. I'm really committing to this. For me, it's strength, energy, body freedom. Those are my goals: strength, energy, and body freedom. Ultimately, it's about body freedom so I can live the life I want to live and do the things I want to do and not have my body hold me back, or at least not have it hold me back badly. I mean, I am 50 years old, so it's not like I'm a 25-year-old that can do what I used to be able to do when I'm 25. But in my mind, I'm always like, I think I'm 30 in my mind until I hang out with 30-year-olds. And then I'm like, yeah, no, I'm 50. Okay. We're going to go through rapid fire here, some of the same old stuff, and then we're going to go through and talk a little bit more about the update with my neck strain that I ended up in urgent care for last week, how it totally messed up my whole week. We're going to talk about how that went for week number 2 of healing my neck pain. And then we're going to talk about some of the other high-level topics that I think might be relevant to you too if you're on a similar journey. For this week for me, it was thinking about how to make this lifestyle feel more and more and more normal, and not like I am doing this, look at me, I am on a path. It's like no more like, no, this is just how I live, which just happens to end up in a result of being more lean, more fit, more fast, all that. I'm going to talk again about the palate, then sugar. I said I was going to talk about it last week, and then I got on talking about other stuff in week 14 that felt really intense to me. Week 14 felt like last week. That felt like a pretty intense episode for me. And, I promised this one would be funny. Oh, geez. I don't know. We'll see. And then, so I totally forgot to talk about the palate and sugar, but there was a really important piece in there because I ate an entire bag of Skittles plus a whole Snickers bar at a movie theater. Yes. So I got to talk about that. I can't just pretend that didn't happen, because it did, which leads me to the topic of alcohol and a huge alcohol craving that I had, what happened there and why. That was very interesting, my dear Watson. Very interesting. I think I might have had a life aha around alcohol for me this last week. And then a little bit of mental freak out I had around wondering, is this whole weight loss thing stalling? I know it's not, but man, my brain just went down to the valley of sad. And then we're going to roll it up with, end of the week. I did a solo camping trip, and did some hiking, and I'll talk to you about that and the concept of making sure you don't do too much too soon and staying injury free. All right, let's kick it off here. So, first of all, if these podcasts have been super helpful for you or even at all helpful for you, well, of course they have. You're listening. It's not like I have this charming personality that you'll just listen to no matter what I'm saying. No. If you found this podcast helpful, the best thing you can do, I know you think I'm going to say Apple Podcasts, leave a review. Actually, the best thing you can do is tell people about it and say, hey, there's this woman. She's like premenopausal, menopausal, had gained a whole bunch of weight, had a bunch of health issues, and now she's publicly podcasting her weight loss journey real time as it's happening. She's crossing her fingers and hoping and praying that she has a huge success story. And so far it's going really well. I'm doing a lot of things really right, but it is a little bit of a little freaky to do it real time. Send it to folks and know like, yeah, this is real. This is real stuff. So yeah, do that. Okay, here we go. Rapid fire list. The things that I am doing every single week that is too much to go to in detail, but we've got to keep reminding ourselves over and over and over and over. What are the things I'm doing every single week? So first of all, I am maintaining my calorie goal. I am making protein my priority, followed by fat and fiber, with carbs being my last priority. And those actual numbers are specific to me. I can help you get those numbers figured out specifically to you. I am hardly drinking any alcohol, staying hydrated, managing my stress. Oh, I was doing a daily hot tub, but the hot tub here broke. Darn it. Damn it, actually. So I have to wait for the hot tub to open back up. But working on daily de-stressing, taking strolls, daily walks outside, staying connected with people, being committed to supporting love and growth among the people that are in my life, in real life. I'm exercising, I'm sleeping, I'm taking naps when I need to, I'm giving myself access to healthy food, I'm keeping my kitchen food safe, balancing my macros, committing to that minimum fiber intake. I'm planning my meals. I have meals in my brain that I know I can go to. I know how to eat out at a restaurant now to make sure I don't go completely off rails anywhere. And every time I step on the scale, I am keeping my mind also on the 6-week trends. That's right. I'm not allowing myself to have a freak out if the scale bumps up or down too much in any direction, good or bad. And yes, I will use those words good and bad with the scale. Gosh darn it, we're all grown-ups here. We can do this. We can do this, people. But from one day or another or 1 week to another, I'm not going to let that scale freak me out. I'm keeping my eye on 6-week trends. So last week, I ended up in the urgent care and on muscle relaxers all week long for neck pain. Landed myself in physical therapy, and I'm doing physical therapy twice a week in person with a physical therapist for my neck to get rid of and heal. I shouldn't say get rid of. Oh, who cares? I'm not going to worry too much about the perfect wording of everything. Keep it in the positive. Say you're on a journey to heal your neck. No, I'm getting rid of my military neck. Even though I think the word military neck is super cool. I don't want it. It's causing pain. So I'm 2 weeks into doing my physical therapy there. And I got to tell you, I can turn my head left and right more without it being painful. I've had this stupid chronic neck thing, and it was so bad for a while. I had lots and lots of migraines all the time. In part because I've learned I carry my stress in my neck. And so I've done a ton of work to relax my neck when I feel stressed, to be conscious of it. I've done working with what's called a somatic therapist, which is someone who helps with that mind-body connection to recognize how there is a connection between our health and our mind and our body and what messages we give our body. And my neck has been a really big one. So between physical therapy, getting the military neck diagnosis, and doing and working with the somatic therapist, Those all together have really helped. My neck still has a long way to go, but my neck, I had one spot on my neck that hurt 24/7 for the last couple of years. It does not hurt 24/7 anymore. And I can back up my car and look over my shoulder, careen my chin way over my shoulder, not way over my shoulder, but in that direction. And I don't flinch with massive pain anymore. I flinch a little. I have a little pain, but I can actually get to where I can see behind me when I'm backing up my car and avoid that flinching pain. I have to be careful. But before, the only way I could get my head to turn that far would be if I went to really bad flinching pain. So flinching pain, is that a thing? It is now. So that's been really cool. And I think some of the stress I feel, now I'm going to say this out loud and you're going to be like, yeah, no shit, Sherlock. But I think some of the stress I feel throughout the day, that low grade stress, is also when you have a spot in your body that's in pain all day, every day, even if it's low grade pain, that is a stressor. Yeah. And our body learns as a adaptive coping skill how to tune it out. But when it starts going away, then the body realizes, hey, I feel a little safer here. And maybe I can relax just a little bit more because I feel like I'm not as in danger. So that's been a very interesting thing this past week. So I think that is related to weight management because stress, cortisol, stressors can be a trigger for eating and stress eating, and stress eating is a thing for me. So taking care of my neck, see, it's all related. Yeah, you're with me. Taking care of my neck makes it so my body relaxes a little more. So I have less stress. Less stress equals less stress eating or less, you got it. You got it. And the wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round. Okay. The next little devil on my shoulder that I needed to work on getting rid of is that little devil on my shoulder. Now, this is funny. Here with my hand, I have it on my right shoulder, but traditionally isn't the devil on the left and instead of the right? I don't know. You have to let me know. But I think that in my mind, I tapped on my right shoulder. Oh, that's because it's my right side of my neck that hurts. So maybe I feel like that right side is bad. See, look at me moralizing my shoulder. Okay, back to my story. The devil on my shoulder, whispering in my ear and telling me, this is never going to be easy for the rest of your life. It's always going to require so much of your attention. You'll never be able to do it without self-discipline, without grit. It's going to be hard. No matter what you do, you're going to have to manage this for the rest of your life. Yeah. I know some pretty bad negative self-talk. And yes, I'm going to use the words good and bad. I don't really care anymore. It's not the most healthy talk, but that's part of what I've had to continue to work through and process through. And I know I'm not alone in that. That was a really loud devil noise in my ears, cackling at me when I was at my week 0, when I was making efforts and not really getting anywhere. In fact, I went back and looked because I'm one of those freaks. I love my data. I have 7 years of data of tracking my weight. In that time, I have 6 times in 7 years yo-yoed down 10 pounds, up, down 9 pounds, up, down 12 pounds, up, down 10. 6 times I've done that. So I think that first 15 pounds, part of my brain was saying, hey, the angel on the left side of my shoulder was saying, hey, this round is different. This round is different. You did your week 0 work, Lynn. You got things figured out. You made changes in your life that needed to be made. You got yourself supported. You healed a lot of your health issues. You got yourself to a place where this made sense. So that is different. But then I also had this little devil in my head that's like, but is it? Is it really different? Or is this just one more big yo-yo? Now that I'm down past 20 pounds, I'm feeling better, and that devil is shrinking. It's it's still there. And sometimes I can just like flick him off my shoulder completely, but he crawls his way back up. No, you might fail. So that self-talk has been a piece of it, of that. Once I got down to 15 pounds down, this whole lifestyle is starting to feel a lot more normal. I've done the restaurant thing. I've done the whole week traveling thing. Last week I did the whole going to a movie and eating a whole pack of Skittles. And Snickers. And it's still working. It's still working. And I feel like I am using less grit and less self-discipline than I have in this whole process, getting to my week 0 and getting through the first 10, 15 pounds. This 15 to 20 pounds right now, I'm feeling like less grit, less self-discipline. I'm not going hungry. I actually love the foods I'm making and creating. I look forward to eating them. And I know I have some freedom to not be, quote, perfect. And that I know is the wrong word too, but I am just like, I don't care about saying exactly the right thing. I know you guys know what I mean. Yeah. So that's been a really cool thing of just reclaiming my power in this whole space and my own independence, and feeling like I have more freedom in these life changes. So that's been really, really cool. So yeah, you want to know about the movie? Okay. This was actually last week. This was week 14, but I forgot to tell you about it. But it was in the context of weight management, it was pretty remarkable. So all of this, what is it now? I'm 15 weeks in. My palate has changed. My taste buds have changed. How I like to eat is more healthy. This is a great thing. I went to the movie theater and I said to myself, okay, I am going to have some Skittles and some Snicker bar candy. And Snicker bars is candy, Lynn. Okay. And I'm not going to worry about it. And that day also, my calories were kind of low when I got to the theater, because the movie started at 6 p.m. and I hadn't, is that right? 5 p.m. 5 p.m. movie, had not had dinner yet. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do this. Let's see what happens. So I ate basically a whole regular package of Skittles and a whole bunch of these little Snickers bars, like individually wrapped little bites. I know I don't go to the movie theater very often. So I'm like, I bought the smaller of the Skittles, which was still a big package, and I ate about half of it. I was sitting watching the Oppenheimer movie, and I actually ate enough that I kind of felt sick to my stomach, to where like, I really enjoyed it as I was eating it, but I got to a point where it was like, my stomach just felt like, oh my gosh, what did you do to me, Lynn? I thought I ate so much. I thought, oh my gosh, this is so bad. Well, I kept the package, took it home, and so I could look at the ingredients and the calories and the sugars and actually calculate this thing out and know exactly what I ate. I did do the freaky thing of the little Snickers. I kept the little individual wrappers, so I knew exactly how many of those I ate of them. 8 of those they're little tiny guys, but I ate 8 of them. Counted it all up, it was 130 grams of sugar that right? Carbs, 130 grams of carbs. Well, sugar, same thing. Yeah. Which I thought in my head, it was so much. But if you figure a can of Coke has about 60 grams of sugar in it, it was not much more than drinking 2 cans of Coke. Now that is a lot of sugar, but I was thinking it was going to come out to like 500 or 12,000 or something. So this is the disconnect between my perception of what I ate. I felt like I ate so much sugar versus what I actually ate, which was much sugar, not so much sugar, was really cool to see. And so that is where the intuitive eating comes in. Now, there is no really good case for like, I can eat candy whenever I want to and have intuitive eating save the day. No. But because my palate had changed, because I had eaten so little sugar, when I did, I didn't completely fall off the cliff edge, which was pretty darn cool. Now, it did screw up that meal. I didn't get the nutrients I should have. And I think I had a snack when I got home. I didn't actually have a proper dinner. So, best choices, most perfect choices? No, not at all. But is it liberating to know that I can have the freedom to do that now and then? Yeah, it's pretty gosh darn awesome. Yeah. So speaking of alcohol, let's change the topic right here. This week, so that was last week's story. This week, for the first time in my weight loss journey, I had a huge craving specifically for vodka martini, specifically. Now, you could say, wow, Lynn, that's amazing. 15 weeks without any huge alcohol cravings. Well, you got to remember, I spent pretty much a whole year cutting my alcohol down to essentially nothing. And I went through having lots of cravings to some cravings to then my life became less stressful. And then I didn't even have alcohol in the house at all. And then I just like, after a while, it just like I hardly think of it. So by the time I started this whole weight loss journey, I had already gone through that. It was like a big process for me. But this time I did. I was driving home from we'll just say, I was driving home from a situation that did not bring me lightheartedness and joy. I think I was driving home having a really loud conversation in myself about that. I think it was one of those. Yes. And my brain, it was a long drive home. Like it was an hour and a half ish. Yeah, hour and a half. And my brain was thinking, you know what? I'm just going to swing by the liquor store, get my favorite vodka or gin. I was trying to decide, is it going to be vodka? Is it going to be gin? And which one is it going to be? My brain was doing that whole thing. And is it going to be just like a clean, neat, martini, or am I going to get some olives? But if I get the olives, do I want to buy a whole jar of olives? Because then I'll be stuck with my brain was doing that. And then I thought, wait a minute. What's really going on here? Because logic brain Lynn, alcohol is a poison. It is a toxin to your body. It does nothing good for you. Why is it that today, on this day, in the middle of the week, you're telling yourself, yep, I'm going to do it. I'm going to drink alcohol today. So this goes back to the somatic therapy work I've been doing, where being angry is one of the harder emotions for me to access. That's a whole nother podcast. But when I have this, I need to pause and not just sit and wallow in that, blah, 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 all the gremlins going on in my brain, but pause and lean into it and say, hey, something's coming up for you. You're just dysregulated here. What is it trying to tell me? What is going on? And so I took a couple of deep breaths, and this wasn't like some glorious, like, oh, the heavens open up and now everything's glorious. But it was more like, okay, darn it, I'll do the work. Pause, think, what's going on? What's really going on? What in me got triggered? And is getting a martini going to actually help that? Of course not. We already know the answer to that. So I then used some grit and made a conscious decision. By pausing and doing that, it gave me the ability to make a conscious decision and say, okay, I'm just going to go home and see, what happens when I get home. And if that means I need to meditate or need to, go for a walk or what, just kind of figure that out. Or if it means I'm totally stressed out and I'm actually going to use food to help me reduce my stress. I'm just going to go keep an open mind when I get home. For some reason, that thought was so empowering that by the time I got home and got my things from the car into my home, the craving was completely gone. And later I realized, oh my gosh, that craving went away. And then I was excited because I had conquered it. But it wasn't even really a conquering thing. It was more like it just went away. And that felt good. That felt really, really good. So the other little devil on my shoulder is, I don't know why, but my brain has been doing this thing. The little devil's been like, what if you're stalling? What if you're stalling? You're not losing weight as fast. What if you're stalling? I'm not stalling. It's been going great. The last few weeks, I've had a few weeks where what do we have? Like a 0.4 loss one week, a 0.6 loss another week. So, not real big, but by golly, I also had a few weeks where I gave myself more freedom to be a little more lax, and the scale's not going up. It's still continuing to slowly just kind of chugga its way down. And so that's where I just have to remind myself, the physical change, the mental change. I need to go back and look at my week 0 and everything I did and the progress I've made, and remind myself of the progress, and know that, yeah, I had a few weeks where the weight wasn't coming off as fast. Part of it, that's just part of the process. And a part of it was I got a little arrogant. I was having such great success that I thought, oh, well, I can do the Skittles and I can do the whole meal when I'm out at a restaurant now because look, I'm doing so great. Well, biology is still the same. If you eat more. Yeah, exactly. So I did a round of just kind of reminding myself to just not double down, but remind myself to do the things, stay the course. And that's been really, really good. And I have to remind myself that there are non-scale victories. And I know that's a buzzword. So let me say it in more plain English. The whole weight management thing, done right, has nothing to do with the scale. The scale is what we use to measure. But it has to do with last weekend, I went camping solo and I did my longest, biggest hike I have done since before I got sick. I did 10 miles in a day. Woo! For me, that is huge. That is so huge. And I was super excited. Now, I did make one, I want to say dumbass mistake. You know what? Yeah, I can say things about myself and actually I feel fine. I feel fine. I don't feel like I'm putting myself down. So I'm just, there you go. I have some, a couple of little mistakes. I have some shoes that I love to walk in. They're cute, they're comfortable, they're slip-ons, they're expensive. They were wearing out. They were giving me just a little bit of heel pain. These are not my hiking shoes, by the way. These are just like wearing around the house, wearing to the grocery store kind of shoes. And I have been holding off on replacing them because I just didn't want to spend the money. I was like, these are still cute. They still look good, but I could tell the heel was kind of wearing and my right heel was hurting a little bit. I go and I do my hike in my actually hiking shoes with my good orthotic insoles in them that are good for my feet. I did 9 miles. I was super pumped, super excited. I was like, oh my gosh, I think I'm going to wake up tomorrow and still be able to walk. I don't think my hips or my knees or my calves or anything are going to kill me like they did earlier this spring. I was really, really excited. I had another sunset walk I wanted to do at low tide, but I had already gone 9 miles. And so I made a wrong decision. I sat there in my car camping, and this is when car camping, I didn't even set up a tent. I just slept in the back of my car, pulled up to a campsite spot, slept in the back of my car. It was like, oh, it's just glorious because when you do it by yourself, it's so simple. You can just go it's almost like backpacking out of your car. It's pretty great. And I'd done the 9 miles, which was 2 miles more than my next biggest hike. And I thought, if I'm coaching myself here, I would tell myself, hey, you need to be really careful about doing any more because too much too soon causes injury. Yeah, you know where this is going. I actually don't know if I got injured yet. But I really wanted to do this little sunset loop, hardly any elevation. So I did it anyway, took my miles for the day up to 10.5 miles for the day. Woke up the next morning, the morning of the end of this week, and that heel hurts a fair bit more. And not like plantar fasciitis, I can't quite figure out. So now I'm right in that spot of, shoot, did I hurt my heel or not? So it's the end of the week. We'll find out next week if I actually hurt my heel or not, because this is where the week ended. But it's enough that I'm not going around barefoot. I'm being super careful. I'm icing it. I'm heating it. I'm taking ibuprofen. I'm got my kinesthetic tape out. I'm doing all the things. So gosh darn, I better make sure this heel gets better fast because there's more summer weather and more hiking I want to do. And getting in that mileage and being able to burn those calories, it's all additive. You can't exercise eating like crap. We know that. But all exercise does help. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. All right, let's go. What were the results of today? Today, we're going to skip through all the carbs, fat, fiber, because it's all pretty much the same old. Start of the week scale. I started the week at 160.8 pounds. End of the week was 160 for a total net loss for the week of 0.8 pounds. I am happy with that. I am totally happy with that. 0.8 is great. It's not a pound a week, but I have been a little more lax, not a whole lot more, but it all adds up. Total loss since the beginning of this, I'm on week 15. My total loss is a flat 22 pounds. So we are keep going. I've got another 10 to go before I start thinking about where is that number where I want to land. Because you guys know, I don't have a number that I want to get to. I have more of a strength, speed, energy. And the fact that I could go 10 miles and not be tired, wake up the next day, live a full day, like that is what I'm doing this for. And that is exciting. So upcoming week, I got 2 things going on. I've got the first 4 or 5 days of my week home alone. Totally fine with that. And the last 3.5 days of my week, I am flying out to see my son off to college. I'm not quite sure how glorious or stressful or what that will be. And it'll be in the South. So I'm really kind of curious to see what the food will be there at the end of next week. And my weigh-in at the end of next week is right smack when I get back from traveling, which also means my prediction is, well, shoot, my brain said that my prediction is I'm not going to lose any weight next week. The second my brain said that, my brain revolted and was like, but no, you can do this, Lynn. Stay the course. So I think I'm going to try to stay the course, but again, not be super militant about it. So there we have it. 15 weeks in, 22 weeks pound down, 22 weeks down. Look at that. Why can't I say pounds? Why can't I say the word pounds? Feeling more energy than I have in a long time, feeling good about it, feeling more and more and more like this thing is going to be sustainable because I like what I'm doing. Yeah. Alrighty, friends, that concludes this week. Gosh darn, if you are a praying person, I want this heel to heal. And yeah, there we go. If you would like me to help you with a similar journey or any of these topics we talked about, I am a certified weight loss management specialist, personal trainer, functional aging specialist. I can help you make this happen for you, and you can start seeing your goals and having more freedom in your body. See that scale go down, gosh darn it, finally, in a way that is healthy and awesome for you. Head on over to couch2active.com. Look me up, contact me. That's couch2active, couch2active.com. See you there.